Cheers and welcome to your NumPy journey. Alrighty then, just really quickly before we start the tutorial, for those of you who want to support the channel and join, you can do this by clicking the subscribe button right here and enable the bell button as well. So now that's out the way, let's get on with the tutorial. In this video, we essentially create and manipulate NumPy arrays of different types and shapes, then printing the properties of those arrays such as size, data type, shape, item size, and the actual array values. The goal is to demonstrate the creation, reshaping, and inspection of NumPy arrays. The NumPy library is imported and given the alias np for easier access in the code. Two-dimension array and two-dimension array type code variables are initialized. Each pair is assigned the value 0 and 0. These variables will later store NumPy arrays, but at this stage they are placeholders initialized with 0 values. Two-dimension array is assigned a NumPy array created using arrange function that generates an array of integers from 0 to 9 exclusive with a step of 1. The D type is set to 8-bit signed integer. The array is then reshaped into 1 by 10 matrix. Two-dimension array type code is assigned to a similar NumPy array, but this time with the D-type character code I, which is shortened for a default integer type, usually 32-bit integer or 64-bit integer depending on the platform. This array is also reshaped into a 1 by 10 matrix. Prints the size or number of elements of two-dimension array using the size attribute. Prints the data type of two-dimension array showing the type of the elements in the array. Prints the shape or dimensions of two-dimension array, which will show how the array is structured, in this case a 1 by 10 matrix. Prints the actual contents of two-dimension array, displaying its values in the 1 by 10 matrix format. Prints the size of each element based on bytes for two-dimension array based on its data type using the item size attribute. Prints the size of each element based on bytes for two-dimension array type code based on its data type using item size on the data type of two-dimension array type code. Prints a separator line for readability. Two-dimension array number 2 and two-dimension array number 2 type code are initialized and each pair is assigned to the value 0 and 0. This variable will later store NumPy arrays, but at this stage they are placeholders initialized with 0 values. A two-dimension array number 2 is assigned to a NumPy array created with a range function, which generates values from 0 to 9.5 with a step of 0.5. The D type is set to float 16-bit floating points. The array is then reshaped into a 2x10 matrix. Two-dimension array number 2 type code is similarly created, but the D type is set to character code F, which correspond to float 32 or single precision floating point. This array is also reshaped into a 2x10 matrix. Prints the size or number of elements of two-dimension array number 2. Prints the data type of variable two-dimension array number 2. Prints the shape or dimensions of two-dimension array number 2, which will be a 2x10 matrix. Prints the actual contents of two-dimension array number 2, displaying its values in the 2x10 matrix format. Prints the size of each element of two-dimension array number 2 based on bytes and its data type. Prints the size of each element of two-dimension array number 2 type code based on bytes. Prints a separator line for readability. Two-dimension array number 3 and two-dimension array number 3 type code are initialized. Each pair is assigned to the value 0 and 0. These variables will later store NumPy arrays, but at this stage they are placeholders initialized with 0 values. Two-dimension array number 3 is assigned to a NumPy array created with a range function, generating values from 0 to 9.9 with a step of 0.1. The D type is set to float 64-bit floating point. The array is reshaped into a 5x20 matrix. The variable two-dimension array number 3 type code is assigned to a similar NumPy array, but with the D type of D, or the character code of D, which is shortened for float 42 two-dimension array number 3 type code is assigned to a similar NumPy array but with the D type of D, or character code of D, which is shortened for float64 double precision floating point. This array is also reshaped into a 5 by 20 matrix. Prints the size or number of elements of two-dimension array number 3. Prints the data type of two-dimension array number 3. Prints the shape or dimension of two-dimension array number 3, which will be a 5 by 20 matrix. Prints the actual content of two-dimension array number 3, displaying its values in the 5 by 20 matrix format. Prints the size of each element of two-dimension array number 3 by bytes based on its data type. Prints the size of each elements by bytes for variable two-dimension array number 3 type code. You can push this button to run the program. Finally, I just wanted to show you where to get all of the course files. So it's this repo right here on my GitHub, Python NumPy Series 1. The link to this repo going to be down below in the description, and if you want to see the code for a specific lesson, you have to select that lesson from the branch drop down right here. For example, to see lesson 1 code, click on this branch and you're going to see all the code right here. If you want to download lesson 1, then you go to the code and download the zip. Or you can clone this repo to your local computer, whichever you are more comfortable with. In the next video, we are going to work on array elements randomization. If you enjoyed this series, my friends, please don't forget to share, subscribe, and like the videos. That really means a lot, and I'm going to see you in the next.